know, but like
bad for Luffy.
I think it's just Luffy is 4 people you don't care about either. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The only reason.
I agree. I brought him up.
Yeah, exactly. So
you have to remember who the fuck that nigga was.
I still don't really for real.
That's the nigga with the golden shield that
before they hit the grand line.
They got Sanji.
Yeah. So
oh shit, I was thinking about Buddy with the pointy head.
Yeah, see.
What the fuck is that? Lord of it?
The one that Luffy
Don Chow. Don Chinjao.
Oh, okay. I thought you.
That's what I was saying.
And there's that filler nigga too with
the slow beam.
Yeah. Is that what he is?
There's a guy who could make you move slow, and then there's a guy who
No, I thought that was like during
the Foxy Pirates guy. I think that's the name of
Yeah, Foxy Pirates. That's
he's the slow beam dude?
Yeah.
Oh, was that wasn't a movie?
No.
Sorry, it's filler.
No, that's not filler. That's canon.
Oh, Foxy's a real
trash canon.
He did the afro.
I'm pretty sure it's canon.
She got everything, cause she bang with us. Hook her on the team, bang. She a little button for the cameras. We got everything that you need.
Yeah, I mean, with Katakuri.
Let's get into the segment of Trash or Licks. We are going to do Katakuri.
I think it's trash. To be honest. There's a lot of hype on his name in the beginning, so it sucks for me to say that, but like, kind of like at the end, like how you guys were talking about Jiren, it's like, nope, he didn't end well, so I give him a trash overall.
I think he's great as a character on its own, but the author ended up the author fucked him up in the end. Mm-hmm. That's what I think is what happened. That's my opinion on the matter.
Okay.
Do we have something in between trash and lit?
No.
Ooh.
You gotta pick one, man.
Ooh.
He's either a good character or a bad one.
I'm gonna go with lit then. If I have to choose, I'll go with lit. I don't think he's actually lit. If you're rating it the regular scale, I give it like a decent plus. But
I wouldn't even give him a plus, man. That's a lot of respect.
No, I mean I don't have a problem.
I think he deserves a lot of respect, but
I don't have a problem with him as a character at all.
From a power standpoint, lit for sure. I guess. Like I don't like his actual ability. I mean, like from his power level standpoint, he's one of the strongest in the series so far. So yeah, sure, lit for that. But I mean, like, if we're talking about what his actual ability was, it was pretty weak to me, and the copying, like, Luffy shit was, like, kind of garbage, and then when he pulled out his own original moves, I was like, this isn't even all that interesting, so I'm kind of like, the only one I really liked was, like, the block mochi, and then maybe, like, the donut thing.
Pulling it up out of nowhere and using it to attack.
That was, like, the only two things I would say, like, maybe I fucked with. Other than that, I was just like...
Honestly, you should have just drowned Luffy in a bunch of mochi, and if it seemed like he was getting out, just keep on piling more and more on top of his ass. He would have eventually suffocated.
I guess so.
I mean, that's too logical for a One Piece fight.
That's what I'm saying. I think the author fucked him up or whatever. I think ass pull is what actually beat Katakuri, not Luffy.
Oh, I mean, we all know that.
I still kind of respect Crocodile, and I still kind of respect Don Flamingo, even though they took ass pull L's probably.
But my reason is, why wouldn't you respect Katakuri? Like, what is that?
So I think it's like, for me, it's like, the thing that most people maybe like about One Piece is like the joke art shit. That kind of like turns me off to a lot of the characters. And like with Katakuri, it was like, okay, initially he was kind of like just a serious guy, and I kind of liked that about him, but then it was like the whole mouth reveal thing. I was like, alright, this is killing me. And then they like did the little half, like they tried to make it serious again with this little flashback about niggas making fun of his mouth, but I still just didn't really, I didn't get enough for me to carry it from doing that joke.
The design.
I didn't like his design. His character, like as a person, I think just like, I don't know where he stood. I would give that like I would never give it a lit. I would say that.
See, I mean, like how you said with Crocodile and like Doflamingo. I mean, I think those are better characters, but again, those two were the pinnacle, were the bad guy, the big bad for that arc. If you know what I mean.
Like Katakuri, I would say is
no, he wasn't the big bad guy. We knew about for example, Doflamingo for hundreds and hundreds of chapters before they even fought. Like we just met Katakuri 20 chapters ago. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I don't think he had time. Like so, I understand him not being on the level of a Doflamingo, but we didn't have time to even understand who he is.
But I get all I'm hearing you say is like he's definitely still the big bad of that arc. I just think you're saying that like we didn't get like hype on him the way we didn't get to know him before that arc. But like to me, it's like we found out halfway into the arc that he was going to be the big bad. Like when with the other ones, we know as soon as we entered the arc, we knew when we entered Alabasta and they talked about Crocodile, cool, that's the nigga they gonna fight at the end. When we went into the Doflamingo's thing, we knew, okay, Doflamingo's who he's gonna fight at the end. Big Mom, it was kind of like, all right, we don't know who this nigga's gonna be. Like, you know what I mean? And then,
fight Big
yeah, exactly. Big Mom. And then eventually we picked Katakuri.
We didn't know until they went into like the thing. We didn't really know.
But I'm just saying that doesn't make him not a big bad. It just means that like it was played.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we didn't have. There was no setup for him. Like we didn't know about him beforehand. There was no like building of his like. But I think character beforehand.
I think it just sucks for it's just a bad thing. It's just an example of why this arc just kind of doesn't work. But I think like in general, I would say of all the fights Luffy's had, I still want to see more of the person he beat, more or less, except maybe like the niggas in the beginning, like Don Creed, like fuck that nigga. Like,
oh, you said you want to see Luffy beat who?
Like of all the people he's beaten, I think I've still been interested in knowing more about them even after the fight was over. Like Arlong, we still got some stuff about it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. If they brought him back, I wouldn't be opposed to it. NL, same thing. Crocodile, same thing. Doflamingo, same thing. I still think they're trying to set up Katakuri as an iconic fight for Luffy, but I don't care to know more about Katakuri after this. Like, I'm kind of done with it. If he pops back up in the story, like, really not gonna give a fuck. And I'm just gonna see it as like this is probably just to let us know that Luffy's now surpassed him, like, for real. Like, next time I see Katakuri show up, I'm expecting it to be, like, Luffy's easily beating him or doing something to show that these niggas are on par. But not anything, like, developing to the story. Like, Crocodile has a whole other piece of him that we don't even fucking know about that I'm interested to find out about. Like, there's a whole relationship with Whitebeard. There's, like, what the fuck was this nigga doing on Ivankov's land, you know? Like, Doflamingo, we got most of his backstory, but it's still like, okay, what's going to happen to him next?
So you're saying that Big Mom's crew were to go down, you know, just completely get submerged as a crew, and then at some point that was like a whole nother time skip. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be interested to see what the hell Katakuri is up to?
No, wouldn't care at
all. I would.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess he might be lit.
I wouldn't necessarily care about like in that scenario. I wouldn't care necessarily. But again, what's the not Mr. One? The guy who turns into sword.
The black guy, yeah.
I give no fucks about him.
No, I wouldn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. That's Crocodile second.
Well, he wasn't iconic though.
To anyone in Doflamingo's crew,
yeah,
I give no fucks about him.
100%.
Who else he fought?
But they weren't Luffy versus though, you know what I mean?
But I'm saying, my point is they're still the second in command. They're still not the top guy, the top person.
But he's going completely based on the people that Luffy beat.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I know, but like bad for Luffy.
I think it's just Luffy is for people you don't care about either. I'm saying.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The only reason.
Don Creed. I brought him up.
Yeah, exactly. So
you have to remember who the fuck that nigga was.
I still don't really for real.
That's the nigga with the golden shield that
before they hit the grandma.
They got Sanji.
Yeah. So
oh shit, I was thinking about Buddy with the pointy head.
Yeah, see.
What is that? Lord of it?
The one that Luffy.
Don
Chinjao.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
And there's that filler nigga too with
the slow beam.
Yeah. Is that what he is?
There's a guy who can make you move slow, and then there's a guy who
No, I thought that was like during
the Foxy Pirates guy. I think that's the name of
Yeah, Foxy Pirates. That's
he's the slow beam dude?
Yeah.
Oh, was that wasn't a movie?
No.
Sorry, it's filler.
No, that's not filler. That's canon.
Oh, Foxy's a real
trash canon.
He did the
Afro. I'm pretty sure it's canon.
I know shit.
I don't know if that Afro thing. I know Foxy. He's like that arc was real though.
Oh, I fuck with them for that. He broken as hell. That's like a movie character they brought into the thing because his
it really did seem like a filler. But anyway, what was he talking about? Oh yeah, so I mean, even though Luffy still fought, another example, Luffy fought
Who give a fuck about Lucci? Everybody want to see Lucci.
Rob Lucci?
Yeah.
But he also fought the door guy. Nobody gives a fuck about him.
No, but I'm talking about big bad fights in each of his arcs.
Like the strongest guy that Luffy beat within each arc.
Yeah, so Don Flamingo is one. Don Krieg is one because Don Krieg was like the pinnacle of that like Sanji fight. Even I guess the Foxy Pirate guy is one too. Don Flamingo, Crocodile, Katakuri. Who else might have been in there?
The Fishman.
Hardy Jones?
Yeah, Arlong.
No.
Hardy Jones, yeah, he counts as well. And
You care about Hardy Jones?
no, I'm saying he counts. I don't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I mean, maybe they alternate.
I'm
Each
saying-
arc he fights a nigga that's.
I don't know. Yeah, so what I'm saying is.
Was Caesar kind of like...
Technically, he counts, yeah.
But
But
I
I'm
don't care
actually
what
more
he is.
interested in Caesar. Okay, I'm lying.
Caesar's definitely done. But I'm saying, so it just happened that Luffy always fought the strongest person until now. You know? So that's, I think, so it's really the strongest person you always care about the most. But it just happens that Luffy always fought the strongest person. He
I still
couldn't.
care about Jack.
Who?
Luffy did. I mean, Luffy hasn't fought him though.
I mean, even if he fights him, I'm still gonna
No,
care
I'm talking about like Luffy fights. What I'm talking about. So I'm saying in the arcs where Luffy fights another crew, whatever,
Yeah.
he always happens to fight the strongest, and we always the strongest person is always the most interesting for the most part, I guess, right? But I'm saying that
They tend to get the most development. But
Yeah.
he did try to put that respect on Katakuri's name. I just don't think any of it like hit. Like he gave him a flashback.
It barely gave us a flashback, man. Let's be serious.
If he gives you a flashback, he's still putting respect on
3-second
it.
ass shit, dude.
Gee, I don't give a fuck. If Oda gives you a flashback,
Hardy Jones got a flashback.
Yeah, you put respect on that nigga name.
That don't mean
Did you see
respect.
how much of fucking Capone got way more of a flashback than this nigga Katakuri? They just wanted to quickly throw something up in there and be like, oh, this is some lazy shit.
What
real
was
quick.
flashback? Just talking that he kills niggas in the past?
I mean, yeah, but that was more than what Katakuri had.
They showed scenes of his past?
Yeah, they showed. I mean, they didn't show like.
I don't count that as I don't count the like the
whatever.
hype they were putting on him as a flashback. I just count it as them just saying like that's what that nigga did. Like the flashback is legit like scenes when that nigga was young doing shit. Like Pudding got a flashback. They showed scenes of her doing shit.
Yeah, they just showed us one panel of Katakuri's flashback of him just standing there.
Niggas making fun of him, yeah.
How the fuck is that count? Okay.
I mean, look, literally, like when he does that, it's almost like he's trying to like map them to Luffy's story. Like which one of Luffy's crewmates have we not seen cry as a little kid in the flashback?
Didn't couldn't get more flashback time?
Yeah,
She
definitely.
part of the crew. Fuck it.
I mean, she's more important.
She part of the crew.
She's more
Right, as a
important.
little kid, I think that's part of the criteria to join the Straw Hats, bro.
Shut the fuck
I'm
up.
serious. Like, I'm serious. Look at the niggas in this crew,
She
bro.
gonna be anything.
Tell me which ones we ain't got flashbacks
I'm
to
pretty
their
sure
crying.
niggas thought Vivi was gonna be part of the crew too.
Huh? Yeah, they did.
She is part of the
She
crew.
is. Yeah.
She is.
I don't remember, bro.
Yeah, no, she is.
I'm telling you.
She was on. No, she was on that shit for a while. She's a part of the crew.
Man, she's part of the crew.
Literally.
She is. She's just not raw. But you know,
No, she was on the ship for a while. She's part of the crew.
Carrie probably might be an honorary member too.
Yeah, I think Carrot might be.
I would give it to Carrot, even though we don't know.
She never cried.
Even though we never got a flashback
What
to
I
Carrot.
Not yet.
would love
Not yet.
him to do.
Yeah, we did. For,
Yeah, her and
for
Pedro.
Pedro.
No,
I
and
would
yeah,
love him
that's
to
the
just
one to my
kick
point.
Chopper off and just
Every relevant character gets a flashback.
right. So Katakuri is considered relevant then because
He can be on the lower tier of relevant. He's still above Don Krieg,
But he
right?
was a big bad fight though. That's the problem.
Again, I'm telling you, like, I don't. The idea of a big bad.
Respect on him.
The idea of the big bad
Uh-huh.
is different than what you're saying. I think the big bad is still the strongest person. The Big Mom is still the big bad. The big fight for Luffy is different than the big bad.
That is why he asked, "Are you gonna come back to beat us?" And Luffy was like, "Yeah,"
I mean,
because she's my big bad.
yeah. I mean, at that point in the arc, yes, I 100% agree. Katakuri,
The big fight for Luffy,
Katakuri
yeah.
is a dragon to Big Mom. I agree with that concept. Of
He's a what?
a drag. If we're using TV trope concepts, Big Bad is a trope. That's like the what you're basically describing the definition of a big bad.
What do you mean dragon? You mean
Dragon
as
is
in
like
Monkey
so.
D.
Darth
Dragon?
Vader was the dragon to the.
Oh, I thought you meant like dragon as
No,
a
no, no,
character.
no.
I was like, what?
No. Dragon is like a trope that means like the second in command or whatever.
Yeah,
So
I've
you-
never heard that before. You?
Oh well,
Okay.
TV tropes. But either way, like Darth Vader's like the dragon to whatever. Like in Don Flamingo's case, it would probably be more
Pika?
Virgo than it would
I
be Pika. I would argue that it could be Virgo
Yeah,
because
Pika
Virgo
wasn't in
was.
that arc though, so Can you really include that?
I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be related to art. It's just really like.
So is dragon just second in command?
Huh?
Dragon just means second in command, right?
Yeah. The trope dragon is like the dragon is like kind of like the second in command, or the person that's like blocking the gate to the big bad, which is usually some strong ass person that 9 times out of 10 may be cooler than the big bad, because like Darth Vader was way more cooler than the Sith Lord, but he's his dragon.
But generally,
he's like the guy under him.
Usually, generally, the dragon is stronger than is weaker than the big bad.
It depends, because I mean, in this case, like, it really depends.
Darth Vader, he's stronger than.
Because think about it, like if you're talking about comics and stuff, sometimes a big bad is just like a mastermind, but he had like a really strong dude to protect niggas from whatever, and he's like not actually strong himself, but his dragon protects like Han. So it's not necessarily always that.
And then what I'm saying, yes, even so, like that example is perfect, where like the big guy is just the top guy is some mastermind. He's the brains, whatever, and then it's just some strong guy you got to fight.
Right.
You don't necessarily care about the strong guy, even though that's your big fight. That's your big fight for.
Who doesn't care about the strong guy?
I would say in general, people care about the mastermind,
You have that
as opposed to.
Darth Vader's way more important than the Sith Lord, dude.
Darth Vader wasn't just
He is the dragon to the Sith Lord.
But
Like if you look up dragon to
He wasn't the muscle.
huh?
He was just a muscle. He killed the Emperor and became the big bad guy. So that's completely different. So I'm saying if it's just a guy who protects the Emperor, that's it. Like in general, you're gonna care more about the top mastermind. And I'm saying that's kind of what we're seeing with Luffy and them.
Yeah.
Even though that was a big fight for Luffy, and I get you're saying, like, I understand what you're saying. That's why, but I'm saying the reason you don't care that much about Katakuri is because he's not like he's not the top guy at the end of the day.
Okay, so if we take it back to being trash or lit, I don't give a fuck about Katakuri, so that makes him trash.
Yeah, I understand you being trash.
So the fact that, but he's lit to you because.
No, there's a difference. I said he's lit because there was no other option.
Because
it was trash or lit. I don't want to give him a trash.
He's closer to lit than trash.
So then the argument I want to have is why is he not trash? That's the one I'm trying to understand.
Well, the reasons that you gave that made you dislike him, I don't feel the same way.
Okay, that's fine. So explain why he's not trash to you. I mean, just not feeling the same way as I feel doesn't really explain it to me.
You said you don't like the character. I'm fine with the character. Even with the whole mouth thing, that didn't bother me at all. His power, I thought him using Luffy's attack was interesting to the point where Luffy, you still got, even though you're still getting strong, you still got work to do.
Okay.
What else did he do?
I think his power is most similar to the Wax Buddy.
The wax candle guy?
Yeah. Because, Mochi is probably very similar to how Wax is or whatever. And considering how he was able to be so strong, given his power, I think that's pretty respectable to put on his name. So, I mean, I can't exactly say that.
He introduced the whole realm of possibilities with the whole see in the future thing. That I'm sure people having whole discussions about what other, maybe, not even just the observation hockey, what other types of hockey can do.
Definitely agree with that in the beginning, that power was lit, but...
I don't just mean the power itself. I just mean that hockey isn't. There's different. There are other things hockey can do that kind of confirm.
Did we really get that from him though?
We did.
Just him? Was he the one that really started that we thought hockey could do other things than just like the 3 things we do? I just want to confirm. I feel like
that's where I got it from. I mean, I didn't until then. I haven't seen anyone do anything super crazy to the point where I was like,
who's up?
I don't think what he did was super crazy. To me, that's
when he saw people far away.
Have we seen people
That's
like that before? I was asking.
I mean, I confirmed that it's kind of like what Rayleigh could do. He can feel an animal all the way across the island.
I thought that's basically what everybody did.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Except you're not using your eyeballs to see them.
It's the same.
Just see them around you.
That's why he couldn't actually see their face, but he was like an outline almost. So he kind of feel where they were, So I always thought that was the same thing. That's why I'm saying the see in the future thing is something that is an offshoot of just what the typical person does.
We never saw somebody go level 2 or 3 within a category of any of the hockeys. So he did kind of introduce that aspect of it.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we're not gonna change your mind. But
and as far as I guess things that would kind of give him negative points, I guess the only issue that I did have with him is being defeated by Luffy. But we all know that was
It's
asshole.
bullshit. It's not. It's no fault of his character.
Are you sure?
No, it's really right. I mean, that's the nigga said the same thing.
I mean, how
why
is it
why did Crocodile lose?
Huh?
Why did Crocodile lose?
Luffy like just beat him. What do you mean?
What?
If I remember correctly, he just hit him with that sandstorm. He found the trick to his pocket.
There's no way. I don't even care if Luffy could touch him. He still should not have been able to be Crocodile.
Yeah, we know that there are certain characters
That part was
Luffy shouldn't have beat.
that part was like a clear ass pull by the writer without any understand. No, Enel was like Luffy's exact opposite. So what are you talking?
And Enel could have just dodged that fucking big ass ball. Come on, let's be serious.
You talking when he was like a big fat ass thing?
Yeah. We all know he could have just easily dodged that shit and then proceeded to just heat that shit up and probably burn Luffy with.
I didn't see the Enel fight.
I mean, the same thing you said last week. You said Lucci fight was an asshole to you, right?
The Rob Lucci fight? Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a reach, but I don't think. Like, the way I see the Katakuri ass pull was different than I see the other ass pulls. The other ass pulls were like, no, like that doesn't make no sense. Katakuri was like, alright, I'm gonna try to make this make sense. So I stabbed myself. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I got that from any other ones. And maybe Don Flamingo, you could argue that with the Gamma Knife stuff.
Yeah.
But
see,
like,
I think with,
other than
with
that,
those
I don't
two
feel
fights,
like for any of those
those are intentional, and he intentionally didn't include it in the other fights. He did it in these fights because.
So to me, like, but those are flaws. Like that, the Katakuri stabbing himself is like a flaw of his character. You know what I mean? Like that happened to him. Like he did that. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a raw ass character and then ass pulls got me beat. It's like, no, I stabbed myself.
What's wrong with him
so
stabbing himself?
I thought he still should have been way over Luffy.
No, but I'm saying that stabbing himself. Even though nobody stated it, I'm assuming that's the excuse we're using for like his loss.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm saying in the previous ones that we've,
I mean, I don't know about.
In the previous ones that we've seen, we never got that. We never got something in the story that was like, wait, oh, Luffy beat you that way. You know what I mean? Because this thing happened to you earlier. Like, I was like, oh, you literally just beat that nigga.
So
like,
you rather just be a complete asshole and him try to.
No, but I'm saying that puts a lot less disrespect on the character than you just like self-hurting yourself and then losing.
I mean, it's a character of his that he's a man or something.
It partially adds to his character, but at the same time, to me, it detracts from it as well because it's like, okay, well then the loss semi-made sense. Like it wasn't like complete out of the box loss.
So you're like upset that the loss made somewhat sense.
Yeah, it shouldn't have made any sense as to how he won. Like he just
what? Yeah. So you want him to just win? You prefer an asshole?
I don't prefer it. I just prefer understanding that that's what happened. Like in this case, there's an argument to be had that like, okay, Luffy like legit beat him. Like we're just all saying that because we feel a certain way about Katakuri that he shouldn't have lost. But at the end of the day, like people can make a legit argument. Okay, well he stabbed himself, so Luffy was strong enough to beat him. Like if that nigga stabbed himself. He beat, like, people can argue that fight was legit. And the other ones that you're talking about, it's much harder to, like, make the argument of the win there.
No, it's easier.
It's hard to make that argument considering that they were both stabbed right in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have two characters, if you have two fucking Pokemon,
okay,
one's level 50, one's level 20.
Yeah.
The level 50 one has 200 HP. The level 21 has 200 HP.
Right.
And they both get fucking stabbed in the stomach and they go down by 50.
Boys.
The one that's level 50 should still be much stronger than the one that's level 20.
But then you can't just look at it like that. It's like shit, I just had a great example in my head. It's more like if the two, either the level 50 and the level 20.
Yeah.
If the level 50 Pokemon, his defense was low, right? Mm-hmm. And then once you attacked him, his HP went down to like 2
dramatically.
And then Luffy's HP like
his barely goes down every time he gets hit.
Exactly. Or even like just in One Piece terms, if Cracker, for example, he's more susceptible to being attacked. His defense is trash. So just because it's the same attack that you guys got hit with doesn't mean that you guys will get take the same damage. Is what I'm saying.
So overall, Lit's trash.
I'll give him a
Katakuri's lit.